Retro Rob's gaming videos.
Hey, Rob here, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 personal favorite controllers in history. Now, I've done a top 5 on controllers before, but that was more about the influence of them and their importance in history. These are more of a personal thing, the ones that I've liked using the most. And they will be presented in no particular order. You know, they're like your children. You don't want to sit there and tell one they're your favorite or something. And it's like that. I love them all equally. Not that I have more than one child. I only have one that I know about. By the way, if you've had one of my children, feel free to not contact me about it because I'm absolutely sure they're past the point of me paying child support. So, haha, gotcha. Oh. Suppose we should probably get back to the top 5. All right, let's start with number 5. Number 5, the Wiskel Bat Handle controller. Yes, it is simple beauty in black and red, just like my hair when I'm bloody. But here's the thing. Back in the Atari 2600 days, controllers broke constantly. They were not well constructed. They didn't have a good feel to them, and you couldn't really play with them very long because they kind of wore on your wrists. Wiskel was made with arcade quality parts. It had leaf switches inside. It was just a great controller. They don't even make plastics like this now. I mean, it's like football helmet plastic. It's that good. This particular model had a little switch on the bottom that had a switch so you could switch. The switch had a switch. No, there was a switch, it's still there, where you can switch from the bottom button to the top button. Of course, the Atari 2600 was only one button at a time, so that's all this supported, and it was all it was made to support. However, I used this stick from the Atari 2600 up until the early Amiga days. I liked it that much. Now, there were multiple models of this. There was a ball top one, and there was a grip handle one too. And there was even a version of it that was 3-in-1, and you could swap the tops. And I had that version, and I really regret getting rid of it because they're kind of hard to find now. So if you see one, let me know. Okay, time for number 4. Number 4, the classic SNES controller. Just look at it in all of its glory. Yes, it's a dinosaur now, but back in its day, the SNES controller was the first controller that you could truly play for more than an hour without it breaking your hand. You know, the early NES controller, it had edges. Literally edges that would dig into your hands, and they'd leave little marks in your hands. This thing, you can play on and on and on without trouble. Decent quality construction. They didn't break real often. They had nice buttons, and the D-pad was downright excellent. SNES controller will go down in history as one of the greatest controllers of all time, and it's my personal number 4. Number 3, the NeoGeo AES arcade controller. This came with a system. That is just freaking crazy and speaks to SNK's quality. They made one of the best game systems of all time that was so expensive that nobody bought it. Well, some people bought it, but not a lot of people bought it, and it's still one of the most collectible systems of all time. This particular controller is one of the reasons. It is just a great arcade-like controller. It's not exactly arcade quality, but it's really close. It's well built. This ball, you can swap it out with ones of different colors, and that's a real arcade ball on there, so you can switch it with real arcade controller balls, which is really nice. Blue ball. Somebody's gonna say it. Come on, it's not like I wasn't gonna. But anyway, NeoGeo Controller. If you can get one of these, they're great. Number 3. Number 2, the Dreamcast Controller. Oh, don't give me any crap about this. This is the first controller that was made for man hands. Well, it's the first frickin' D-pad based controller that was made for man hands. All before that, my big meat hooks would just frickin' wrap around them like nothing. But this one, perfection. Other firsts. It's a world of firsts, really. VMU, first time a screen was on a controller, like stock. Didn't happen again until the Wii U. Yeah, all right, fine. The Wii U, like, failed. But still, first time. like years ahead of its time. Also, analog triggers. That was not a thing until the Dreamcast. Why is it important? Because then you can play racing games with nuance. Really nice. So 2 of those. Other firsts. Well, first time they mounted a wire in the front. I don't know what that's about. Alright, so that's not really that great. But still, well-built controller, and basically the template for modern controllers from then on out. This kind of bat handle, that was like started on consoles with the Dreamcast. Number 2 is awesome. Don't care what you say. Finally, number 1, well, it's a good old Xbox 360 controller. Yes, it's been surpassed by, well, replaced by the Xbox One controller, which I do use regularly and have some respect for, but no, that controller is nowhere near as good. This particular controller was built well, could really take a beating. I mean, this sucker's years old. Came in wired and wireless format, which is really kind of nice because sometimes you just want a wired controller plus compatibility. Other things about it, again, you know, just the perfection of where you put your thumbs in a first-person shooter on a console. This is really the ultimate console controller. The PlayStation controller, obviously that was like not that great. The PlayStation 2 controller, the PlayStation 3 controller, PlayStation 4 controller, actually I have a lot of respect for. I think it's a well-built controller, but still, for some reason, this just seems to rest really well. And by the way, you can see the similarity between this and its precursor, the Dreamcast controller. Look at that. Both beautiful controllers. But all the controllers are beautiful in my eyes. Well, that wraps it up for my top 5. Got a favorite controller? Ah! I had to get my hair out of my eyes. By the way, I don't think I really thought this long hair thing through very well. But anyway, thank you very much for watching my top 5. Please note that they're a personal top 5 and they reflect my own personal opinion. So it doesn't mean that yours is a terrible controller. By the way, if you do have an awesome controller you want to tell me about, please tell me in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Coming up is more retro goodness and, of course, XD Live, which I'm recording in a few minutes. In fact, I'm a little bit late for it. Better get to it. See you next time.
Retro rock scaling videos.